Hello and welcome to this resource demonstration video showing you our brand new fire command unit and water carrier. I'll show you how it works and how you can use it. So as this is a smart vehicle, you are required to have a copy of our smart vehicle resource, which can be purchased on our store at store.londonstudios.net. As always, we're going to spawn in the main vehicle, which is water carrier, and we're going to use the /setup vehicle command, which will add the various props. So, this vehicle features two arms. We've got the crane at the front, and then we've got the lift at the back, which we're going to use to lift these two containers in just a minute. Now, this vehicle can either be controlled while you're driving, or from the side of the vehicle when stationary, and I'll show you that we've also added a menu for that function. So if you want to control while you're driving, you press X, and you're only able to control that back lift. So we can make that lift up, and we can make that lift down, and we'll also be able to attach containers. But I'll show you it in a minute. So, moving on, I'll show you the two containers that we've included. These are both set up as vehicles in games, with spawn code of Container Commando Unit and Container Water Tank. This allows you to toggle the doors and extras, such as the windows on our water tank. So this water tank will integrate with our fire supply line resource, allowing you to essentially use it and drop it off at a scene and have an additional amount of water for your fire units. And the Commando unit has got an interior. The door can be opened and entered. We've had a little desk and a seating area, ready for you to make those vital decisions on scene. So I'll show you now how to lift them up and attach them to our smart vehicle. So what you're going to want to do first, you're going to jump in the smart vehicle and we'll move it into position in front of the container. And I'll start with the Commando unit. So you don't want to be too far away from it, you want to be nice and lined up. We can always move it in a minute if we're too far. So I think that should do the job. We'll jump out, and as you see I've got an X, press X to control now a prompt on my screen, which I'm going to do. And this opens our MTL control panel. So as you can see, I've got a million different controls here. We'll start by controlling the crane, and you can use this to pick up vehicles. This is not the one we're going to use to pick up this container, but you can use this to pick up vehicles. You can close the menu at any time by pressing close menu. Instead, you can use keybinds, but that does complicate the process, and a lot of servers might not want to have to remember the different keybinds. As you can see, we can extend that crane out. We can also make it longer. If we rotate it back to the right, we should see, there we go, as you see it extends. You can then attach and detach vehicles, rotate the hook, just like our recovery truck resource, which you'll be able to see now. You can rotate that, and you can also rotate it round, allowing you to pick up vehicles that might be stuck at a seam. Next, the most important and exciting part is the lifting the container. So we got the container section of the menu here, and we're going to lift up this arm. So we use lift in, lift out, sorry. And all of the speeds and timings for this can be adjusted in the lure file of the Smart Vehicles resource. So we're going to lift this out, and we're going to wait for it for a few seconds to reach the height of the container. And you'll probably want to make sure no one's inside the container while you're lifting it. So whilst we're here, we can retract, and we can also extend, depending on how long or short we need it to the container, if you might not have parked up close enough. So we'll probably want to retract a little bit there, actually. So I think that is absolutely perfect. So we're going to press attach container. As you can see, it's now attached, and then we're going to press lift in, and the container now lifts up. Forgot to mention, we've also got outriggers, which can be moved out, and then feet, which can be extended slightly, just to help you during the stabilization process. So if we just stop for a second, stop controlling, I'll show you that is obviously not on the vehicle yet, but you can stop at any time, and I'll show you it is hooked up there. And we can do the same for our other one in a minute. And I can also show you the attachment of the vehicle. So we'll carry on, press X to control, menu will appear, and we'll carry on lifting in. Having one button for lifting and lift out pretty much automates the process for you. You don't have to worry about rotating two different parts at the right angle. We can also still use the extend and retract if needed. but we'll probably want it retracted as we're moving it on. So this is the perfect addition to your fire department on your server, allowing you to easily drop and deploy commando units and water tanks all around the map. We can still retract, extend, and that would be perfect. So if we wanted to move this vehicle now, we'd retract the outriggers, retract the feet, and then we're good to go really. We can stop controlling. Probably should have done the same for the crane, but we'll be alright. And then we can start driving. That commando unit is now attached to the vehicle and ready to be dropped at a scene, which I'll show you now. So let's say we wanted to drop the commando unit over here. We jump out. We're now at our scene. We'll press X to control. And we're going to do lift out of the commando unit. And we will wait a few seconds until that reaches the ground. Should probably have the outriggers out again. So we've designed this menu to make the process a lot simpler for you. Previously, with Smart Vehicle, we'd publish a list of keybinds, but servers were often having issues having to remember which keybinds to press at which time, which complicated the process. So having this nice streamlined menu makes it a lot easier for your server. Okay, and once we're down to the bottom there, you'll want to press the detach container, and then we can lift that arm back in again. But I'm not going to, as I'm going to show you the other vehicle, the water tank. So we'll close the menu, and we'll jump into the vehicle, and we'll drive, and we'll do the same thing for our water tank. That's now ready to be used as seen as a commando unit. Ideally, you wouldn't want to be driving around like this, but it will do for now. So we'll do the same here. We'll line it up. Not the best driver. We'll line it up. That should be good. And then we should be able to use our menu just to bring that down a little bit more. And then we can retract that just a little bit. And then we can do the same. So we do attach, detach container, and we'll start lifting in. So as I mentioned previously, our water tank has got some windows or doors on it, and these are set up as an extra on the vehicle. So when you spawn it in, it has got a driver's seat in it, it just cannot be driven. And we set it up as a vehicle mainly for convenience, to allow servers to spawn it in using existing vehicle menus, vehicle spawn systems, rather than having to have a new resource to allow them to spawn in props. You can then use any sort of vehicle management resource to enable or disable the extras on it. So as you see, we've got the same for that, and we're not going to press detach container. Once again, should have probably done the outriggers, but we'll go for a quick drive with that, and then I'll show you how our crane works. So you then deliver this to a scene where we might need a lot of water, and we're not near a natural source of water. So let's say we wanted to drop it off here, and I'll also spawn in another vehicle, so I'm ready to show you the next part of this resource. We'll be using that in just a second. What we'll do is press X to control, and then we're going to show you how to use the crane. So we're going to go left, and just like our recovery truck resource, we're going to rotate down. We want to get it nice on top of the vehicle, and we're probably just a little bit far away there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, I know we're probably perfect there actually. Rotate down and press attach vehicle, and then we can start to lift up, and then we can use the rotate hook properties to kind of move the vehicle around. And it's just quite good to have this extra feature as part of the resource. So while it's doing that, we'll have a look at the water tank now and press K to open the menu again, which obviously can be configured in the Lure file. And we're going to use lift out to lift the water tank off and ready to drop it off at our seam. So installing our fire water carrier is pretty easy. All you've got to do is drag and drop it in your server, and make sure you're on the latest version of Smart Vehicle, which is quite important. A Smart Vehicle enables all the movable parts on the vehicle to work, and it wouldn't work without it. Our documentation for this resource can be viewed at docs.londonstudios.net, and it does provide all the keybinds if you'd rather disable the menu. So once we've got our vehicle near the ground, I'm not sure if we're there yet, we'll press detach container, and then you'll be able to lift that arm in again and possibly even run back to the station and get the commando unit as well. But for now, I'll show you. Last thing to show you is the extras on here. So you can actually jump in, it has got a driver's seat, cannot really be moved. It's mainly just you can spawn it in. But using something like vMenu, as you see, these can be closed. And there are a lot of vehicle extra resources out there that will kind of show you, kind of allow you to do that. So last thing is the vehicle firewater carrier has got set up for non-ELS. So in game, I'm just going to press E. As you can see, lights and sirens are enabled by default. Base GTA with no ELS resource required. MTL is the base game brand from Grand Theft Auto, and they're responsible for the creation of the base game fire trucks. So this does not use any real world brands or references to real world brands. Our fire truck is fully generic 3D model, not based on or relative to any real life models, does not infringe on any trademarks, and is a perfect lore friendly vehicle for your server. If you're interested in adding our fire water carrier with commando unit and crane to your server, head to our store now at store.londonstudios.net. If you want to test this resource first, you can join our test server at FiveM.londonstudios.net. And as always, our support team are here to help you after your purchase. And you can open a support ticket at any time on our support panel at support.londonstudios.net. Thank you for watching this resource demonstration video of the Fire Water Carrier by London Studios. Take care.